It gets better though. So.
Oh, it gets much better. Well, that took some time to get there.
Let me ask you this. Let's back up a little bit, because we would have conversations, and how would you define yourself to me sometimes? You know, some of the derogatory things you would kind of label yourself as that I really wasn't pleased about.
You didn't enjoy. Because I would call and I'd say, oh, Stephen, but you don't understand. You know, right now, I don't know. I'm just poor white trash trying to make it in this. And he'd said, no, you're not. But I really, at that time, was not able to pay my bills and stuff. But there's one thing that all entrepreneurs, which everyone that's here is one, we don't give up on our dreams. We keep going, even when everything's stacked against you. I actually went out. I was fortunate enough to live in a small town, to have a banker that I would go in, and he began believing in me. Now, trust me, I'm sure his auditors were saying, what are you doing helping this family? But he believed in me because I would do what I told him I was going to do. So always know that when you're going to people like Stephen or your banker to keep going, I always kept my word. There was times that I would have to even say, you know what, can I send that a week later to you because I don't have it today? Or, they really worked with me because the one thing that kept happening for me was I was being honest and humble, and I'm so grateful that people believed in me. Stephen and Alicia and Lorette, they believed in me and helped me. Scott believed in what I was bringing to him, so we did the mailing. My banker believed in me when there was really no reason to believe in me. But there was, because I was going to persevere and keep going. Yes. I just kept going, and after
as you were continuing to go, how important was it to have that continuous coaching and contact with us, as every day you were trying to keep your head above water and focus on that dream and believing that you can actually have that dream become true?
As I said to you, I didn't come here this weekend thinking I was going to write a book. I had no intentions of writing a book. I actually came here because I wanted to let Stephen and Alicia know, I'll get really teary here, but what they've done for me, because I wouldn't be here today. They kept me going when each day, there was times that I didn't want to keep going. They would email me and say, hey, we haven't heard from you. You're being a little quiet. Have you done what Stephen's asked you to do? And they encouraged others within the coaching club to, we started communicating with each other. And it was really tough times, but I really, really believed in them. They believed in me. I believed that I could get there. And I wasn't trying to work in an industry of anything to do with internet marketing. I was trying to stay true to myself, which was I believed in the Forex. I believed that I could find the right pieces to the puzzle and become successful. So I actually, there was a time in there where some things started working for me in the Forex, but, they weren't that great. But I kept going and going because I knew I was going to find that right piece. And Steve and I had tons and tons and tons of emails back and forth, and he kept saying, find this, do this. And so I would define it down, and I would get back to him. I'd say, okay, I've done this, and he would say, okay, now you need to do this, or Alicia. And, I didn't know anything about how to make a lot of stuff work. So I called Stephen in July of 2004, and, I'd had just enough success just to kind of keep barely going. But I called him in July of 2004 and said, I've really found someone that knows the Forex market. He said, well, that's great. What are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm going to, so I started working with this gentleman, and I convinced this gentleman, now he's a developer of a system. He was already marketing this system, but I went to him and said, I believe I can really take what you have and really put it out there. Now, I was making some real bold statements because I really didn't know internet marketing. I didn't know much, but I'd learned so much from these guys. So I went to him and said, how about we're going to sell your service? And he said, well, I don't really know about that. And I said, but I want to do it in a certain way, because Steve and I talked a lot about how to do the service. And so I went back to Stephen and I said, please, you've got to help me. Now I've got to come up with a sales letter because I've made a promise to this man that I'm going to get him 1,000 customers. Now, I didn't have a list. I didn't have a product. I didn't have any money. But, this gentleman, he believed that, well, we'll give her a chance. And he'll even come back and he's told people, he said, he had had numerous people contact him and say, I can do something good for you. And he said, I was the only person that said that to him. And a month later, I called him up and said, I've got a website. Because I came to these guys and they said, call Vaughn with Killer Designs, call this person. So I was shoestringing everything together to get this product together. The gentleman's driving down the road, brings up the site. He turns to his wife and he says, oh my gosh, of all the people, this woman that he said, I just said, okay, go ahead, not even thinking that I'd be able to do what I said I was going to do. I then have to turn around and go, okay, now I've got a site, now I've got a product. What do I do? So I said to Stephen, would you please mail for me?
And then I was like, well, let me take a look at the site. And there were some additional things that we needed to do with the site. We had to look at the pricing, the offer. So we go through all of this, and we're coming down to showtime. And we committed. I said, listen, we'll go ahead and be your first joint venture partner and get this thing going for you. And what was the result of that?
On October 20th, 2004, we went from having 0 customers. Stephen did a mailing for me. And if you guys have learned, if you heard anything this weekend that they've brought to you, if you want to talk about a frenzy, I had a total frenzy on my hand because I was working 20-hour days trying to keep up with all these people that were wanting to sign up for our service. And now we had a problem.
Now, what I want to do is I want to define this. Right now, under management, the company that you've been able to start, how much money do you guys have under management in total accounts trading with you?
What we were able to do is we defined our service further from going from having 0. Well, I guess I shouldn't say 0 because I had built up a little bit of success. But now we currently have about $10 million under management.